The Eagles came away with the victory over the Vikings yesterday. And we're going to talk about all our takeaways from it. The great, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. The good, the bad. We're going to break it all down. So I think it was a very good stepping stone for what is to come the rest of the year for the Eagles. Trending in the AM, taking all your thoughts and opinions on that, and so much more. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter, wherever you're watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Of course, share this out on any and all social media platforms. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's free to do, helps grow this great channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, and vote on our YouTube poll question of the day. Really simple today. Well, maybe not so simple. How are you feeling about the Eagles after the win yesterday versus the Vikings? Option A, confident we are back. Option B, where was this offense all year? Option C, moderately improved feelings. And option D, there's still so much work to be done. And I think there's a valid answer for each and every one of them. So make sure you vote and drop your comments and your thoughts, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel. I see lots of comments already rolling in. But yes, the Eagles did win yesterday, 28-22 over the Minnesota Vikings on the backs of your perfect quarterback ranking, Jalen Hurts, on the backs of your two elite wide receivers, Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. There's lots of things we could break down this week, but you know what? Let's start with the good. You put the ball in your quarterback's hand, and your quarterback gets it to his playmaker's hands, and good things happen. So it was pretty special there, watching the game that Jalen Hurts was able to pull off yesterday. Who in the NFL is tougher than Devonta Smith? What a game for the Slim Reaper. Hurts with a perfect quarterback rating. That's the formula for the offense moving forward. Yes, Steven. Devonta Smith, man, he took some hits yesterday, took some hard falls yesterday, and that boy just keeps getting on up and making plays when necessary. You love to see him. Steve also says, Jalen always answers the call and rises to the occasion. He was extraordinary yesterday, especially when it mattered most. I love it. I love it. Good morning, Adam. Yes, Jalen Hurts is elite. I don't know, K1, what happened. Yesterday in the show, we went from 772 to 781. Now we're back to 774. I guess did we lose even more? We started the show at 774. We lose three more. Jeez, the way that stuff happens, man, it's frustrating. I get it. I don't know what the heck's happening. Now we're at 774 right now. But yeah, it did have a little jump and drop yesterday. No idea why. Yes, Josh Allen's wasted career. Eagles victory Monday. It's always good to come away with a win, especially after losing 2 games in a row. There's plenty of negative we can feel from yesterday's win. There are things we could talk about that need to improve. But the fact that they went out there, beat a good Vikings team, put that passing game up on the second best pass defense in football, and stop the bleeding. So key to get the losses out of your mouth like that. I'm feeling great that Jalen Hurts is my quarterback. And Anthony, you rightfully should. Absolutely should. Shenanigans about Adam. Is that what it is? Are you blaming Adam? A.J. Brown, nice catches. Devonta Smith, great catches. For the guy that can't throw a football, supposedly, Jalen Hurts leads the NFL in touchdown passes of 35 yards or more since 2022. Just think about that. Hurts bailing KP so we can hear what good job he's done when he's, yeah. So this is a very negative towards Kevin Patullo. Look, I get it. Kevin Patullo wasn't perfect yesterday. He still had some issues in the play calling. It looks like Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown were kind of chirping at what plays needed to be called. And yes, they'll probably say, we'll see good on Kevin Patullo for realizing what the players, listening to his players and getting the job done. We'll see how that plays out this week. I thought Hurts couldn't throw the long ball. I thought he couldn't either. I thought Jalen Hurts wasn't good. 19 of 23 yesterday. Jalen Hurts. 4 incomplete passes. 3 touchdowns. No turnovers. 326 passing yards. I think that's pretty special. Mac Jones victory. Yeah, good for Mac Jones. Good morning, Duck. How you doing? What's up, Versetti? You'll be at the game. The Eagles are opening as 7-point favorites over the Giants right now. Meanwhile, Phil's boy Jaden Daniels hurt again. How's he my boy? Why is Jaden Daniels my boy? I need you to explain that. He ain't my boy. Will Miami coach finally get fired? I mean, he probably should. Yes, he should probably be fired by about noon today. Jaden has officially regressed. He's officially gotten hurt twice now, a hamstring. That'll keep him out for a little while. Chubber Phillips, we need defense to help secondary, not just bring BG. Chubber Phillips need to be green before the Giants game. Yeah, so obviously, pass rush still needs work, and there are rumors for those that don't know, and you live under a rock, there are rumors that later today, Brandon Graham will come out of retirement and rejoin the Eagles. They better, if they're bringing back Brandon Graham, EC, I agree. They definitely still need to make one other move. Brandon Graham can't be the answer to fix our pass rush. I think that's putting a lot of pressure on a guy that hasn't played yet this year. Sirianni can never let them lose 3 in a row. He never would. Well, we did in 23, but it's not going to happen again. Hurts very good deep ball. Very good. He's elite at the deep ball. Kept telling you Daniels will never survive without taking care of his body. And I didn't disagree with that part. I just talked about Jane Daniels in the offseason. Everyone just assumed he would regress because that's what C.J. Stroud did. That's where I went, where I countered you guys. Allen, very bad passes over 20. Yeah, I don't know. Hurts has to be damn near perfect, flawless, with no mistakes if wants to win, especially with KP's calling plays. Yeah, look, we still got work to do on the offense. The offensive line, Cam Jurgens, we're going to see what's up with him. That's a problem. Actually, Cam Jurgens going down helped the offense to force them to go under center more because Brett Toth can't spike the ball from shotgun. He's got to be under center for that. But, yeah, I mean, you still got offensive line issues. Jordan Mailata is still not great. And Saquon Barkley's still struggling to hit holes. So there's still a lot that needs to be worked on. That's why I put in moderately improved feelings in the poll question, and it's tied for the lead right now, because there's a lot of good to take from the game. But what we can understand is we still have more that needs to be fixed. What did Limp Bizkit bass guy die of? What? I have no idea. Tua trash. Talk about, yeah, that's a shame right there. I'm sorry, I feel bad for McDaniels. Trade him. Trade who? Tua? So you're not a Tua guy. Okay, I get it. And yeah, Tua is not it, but McDaniels is not it either. It's a trash organization, period, right now. Glaze and Jaden all offseason, don't deny your love. I have no love for the guy. I'm just honest. He's injury prone, sure. Loved how AJ was coming back to catch those passes. That catch on 3rd down, Steven, it was on the right sideline where he came back. I think it was like 3rd and 14 or something. Had like a 19-yard catch. That's what we haven't seen from A.J. Brown yet this year. Nobody coming back to help out Jalen. It was great to see that. That was a huge play there. There were a couple big – we were bad on 3rd down. I think we were only 3 of 10 on 3rd down yesterday. But 2 or 3 of them late in the game were huge plays on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. 326 passing Hurts, who is now where elite had an elite game. Okay. Taking notes. BG coming back, I would think, is more of a vet leadership move than a player. No, I think it's both. I think they think he can help the edge rush a little bit. Yeah, they need the leadership, but I think that they actually think that Brandon Graham can help the rush, which is asking a lot. And on top of that, you got the fact that he went out on top, too. I really want to see a lesser version of him on the field. Overreaction Monday, it's Super Bowl champions. That's right, Adam. It is Overreaction Monday. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing, dropping your comments on the game, guys. There's a lot of people in there watching right now. You got thoughts, you drop those comments. I will respond to them all. I have ambivalence towards Hurts. Yeah, well, you don't know what a good quarterback is. 12 of 23, 52%, 100 passing yards, 3 interceptions. Is that Tua's stat line from yesterday? Broncos own Giants. That was a crazy game from what I've seen the highlights of. Broncos beating the Giants there. All 5 Eagles wins are versus 500 or better teams. Great point. Great point. I'm writing that one down. Writing that one down, Steven. That'll be one for later. But yes, we have not had an easy schedule yet this year. Carson Wentz was actually pretty okay yesterday. I think Carson Wentz played pretty well, considering he's got happy feet, considering he took a massive hit from Jalen Carter in the ribs early in the game. The way he was able to tough it out, I got nothing negative to say about Carson Wentz's performance yesterday in all consideration. Carson lost, but the defense still gave up over 300 passing yards. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Our defense had some big plays. The Eagles' defense was able to keep them to only 1 touchdown in 6 red zone trips, but they did let the offense get into the red zone 6 times yesterday. So they did get 5 field goals. So the Eagles' defense at times yesterday still did not perform at a Vic Fangio level. We did see Nakobe Dean get out there a little bit yesterday. He played 31 of the 69 snaps. So that was good. Tua's even more limited. Hurts, whatever. We're not talking Tua. Who would be better on Eagles, Tua or Hurts? Hurts. What are you talking about? Amazing. All they said was Tua took Hurts' job in college. Tua better than Hurts. But look, Tua is what Tua is. Maybe Tua would have been good if he knew how to protect himself. But the concussions have caught up to him. BG isn't coming back. Well, there's a lot of reports from big name accounts, the Schefters of the world, the Pelisseros of the world, saying that it's very likely to happen. And all I'm saying is I don't know if I want it to happen, whether it's necessary. If that's your answer, Howie Roseman, that and an eventual return of Nolan Smith, I think Howie's making a big mistake there. It's crazy that Smith is 7th in receiving yards in the NFL right now. Having a game like yesterday definitely jumps you up the leaderboard. 9 catches, 183 yards. He had a 100-yard game minus the 79-yard touchdown. I think Hurts was calling the long bomb plays, not Patullo. I think they pointed it out and begged for the play to be called. Whether he called it or Patullo did, I don't know. But I don't think Patullo would have called it if the wide receivers and quarterbacks weren't chirping on the sideline. No, I said I feel bad for McDaniels. Trade him. What? Look, McDaniels stinks. Tua stinks. The way that Dolphins organization is run stinks. Wentz intentional grounding on the cover, 2 wide banana. Dude, that was such a bad play by Carson. Like, just fling it down to the ground. And that's where Carson is in his career. Carson can still sling it, but Carson can definitely get rattled very easily. The happy feet. Plain and simple, Carson has happy feet at this point in his career. Saw Cowboys fans going crazy on beating the Commanders without their top 2 receivers, and Daniels got hurt. Cowboys fans are going to cowboy. They're going to do what they do. It is Overreaction Monday every day of the week for Cowboys fans. It's just how they do business. It was a joke, messed it up. Carson, horrendous, sucks ass. It's all good. It's all good. BG barely played last year. He played like 30-some% snaps last year. I think he was at like 36% snap count, something like that. So he played a little bit more than you think. He had a decent amount of sacks based off percentages. Tua don't got Barkley or 2 best wide receivers. He does, Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle, but Hill's hurt right now. Having those extra days off were crucial for Quinyon to be able to lock up JJ. And he did well. I think you could tell, Steve, personally, that Quinyon was not 100% yesterday. A couple times when he broke on the wide receiver, he could just be a little slow in his breaks yesterday. Or maybe he was being a little cautious, not to cut as hard. He was still mixing it up. So I'm getting in there on run plays, making tackles. We gave up a lot of yards yesterday, but there's a lot of positive. This is a Glazer show. Why not? I'm happy Dean's acceleration is back. The rest will come. He missed a few yesterday. Yeah, look, I said it a few minutes ago, Nooms. I'll look it up again. 31 of the 69 snaps. He played 45% of the defensive snaps. I think that equates out to about 30 snaps that Jihaad Campbell played on the outside. So they gained a little bit more confidence, and I would expect next week that number to tick up a little bit more, and the week after the bye, a little bit more. You're going to have to do that. If Howie Roseman's answer to the pass rush is Dean in the middle, Campbell on the outside, Brandon Graham in addition, and Nolan Smith return, that might be Howie's answer to the pass rush. All those things combined. Wentz hasn't progressed very much since leaving. No, Wentz has absolutely regressed. I mean, of course. Do you think he was going to get better? I mean, I don't think so. He is who he is at this point. Was that a touchdown for Vikings? Just, no, I think it was an incomplete pass. I think it was the right job. I know Vikings fans are complaining that it shouldn't have been overturned, but I think it was the right call. The last angle they showed, you see the ball come loose and hit the ground. I missed the joke. You messed it up. I think McDaniels, Wentz be horrible together, so I said trade them, Wentz or Carson, so we could watch them suffer. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm not on my A game this morning, EC1. I might be a little hungover. I'm not sure what it is. Just feel a little foggy this morning. So I'm missing it. Things will go over my head way too easy today, EC1. I was surprised Carson Wentz missed the fire zone. Those Wonderlic tests are such garbage. You can't reproduce decision-making. Look, he didn't have bad decision-making before his injury started piling up in his career. Carson Wentz was what he was, but now he is what he is, which is a solid backup. You could do much worse in the NFL than have Carson Wentz as your backup. Problem is McCarty ain't that special, so Wentz probably needs to start. I mean, Carson Wentz, I know he had the 2 interceptions. Yeah, 313 passing yards. And he even ran for 2 first downs, too. Take out his 2 first down runs, and the Eagles actually contained the run game for a change. So, I mean, still a lot of things for the defense to work on, too, but the defense played well yesterday. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well. Guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button, and vote on the poll question. Right now, Confident We Are Back is tied with there's still work to do with 33% of the votes. 13% where was this offense all year, 20% moderately improved feelings. Wentz mistakes. So I don't know. So the second interception that Wentz threw, I just think he had the right idea. He just underthrew the ball massively. So it was a bad execution. The first interception to Jalen Hunt, that was just such a bad mistake. How did he not see Jalen Hunt? I mean, it was good for us, but how did he not see that? I mean, that was a bad pick. I just think the second one was just, he had the right idea. He just short-armed the throw. Eagles win. Yes, 5-2. After all this, we're 5-2. I think we got a 2-game lead in the division now, right? O'Shea got a sack. O'Shea. You can't look at a stat sheet and say Wentz did all right. I mean, I'm watching my eye test, and what I felt from him, like, I knew he was always going to make another mistake, but also, I think in the situation he was in, I think it was okay. Wentz will do what quarterback twos will do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's 2-2 as a starter now with the Vikings. Bottom line is they buckled it down in the red zone, and I think it's insane. You let them. Your defense in between the 20s was terrible yesterday. Defense in the red zone was excellent yesterday. 6 red zone trips, only 1 touchdown, 5 field goals. They didn't get off the field. I think the Vikings were 7 of 15 on third down, so we didn't get off the field quick enough on third downs either. We got out, I think it was 8 minutes time of possession difference as well. Feel bad, Waddle. Get him in Philly trade with Dotson, or trade them Dotson. We don't use him. We have better quarterback to a stink, so I'm glad. Look, I mean, I've talked a bunch about trading Dotson. People think I'm nuts. I think it's a great idea. You got a weapon there that somebody might give you a 4th or 5th round pick for, so you do it. Same Wentz F-ups. Late in his career in Philly, yes, absolutely. Top record in the NFL. I don't think that's us, but maybe. But at this point, he is the default starter. Yeah, I don't think McCarty's anything. I think they'll regret that decision here. Yeah, I mean, what's up, Marky Mark? Hurts, Smith, Brown. I mean, it's pretty special. Pretty special to what we saw yesterday. Still on top. They are. What's up, Paul Brown? How you doing? What will we do at center if Jurgens is out? I would love to see what they're going to do in practice, Paul. Great question. Will they give Brett Toth all the reps? Will they try Drew Kendall? They got the other dude, Lampkin. He's on IR, but I think he's eligible to come off. Do you activate him and give that kid a chance? Brett Toth. The problem with Brett Toth is he can't snap in shotgun formation, which forced them to go under center, which is kind of where the offense opened up a little bit. So you go with Toth. We see the offense that we like. We go away from Toth. I don't know what they do. Hopefully Cam Jurgens is good to go this week, though. But it's just another injury to a already banged up offensive line, which has been a problem all year. Quit his NFL football career, do YouTube channel, start channel, do deer hunting. Yeah, Carson Wentz was big in the deer hunting, for sure. He was a very, very big fan of that, which whatever, to each his own. It was funny how Hurts wasn't happy when Patullo was trying to hug him. Yeah, they both A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts kind of, walked away from KP there. It is what it is. It happens. There's obviously not a great relationship there between those guys. Guys, there's 23 people watching, only 9 likes on this video. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, guys, please. We need Hendrickson, make it happen. See, here's the thing. Is the Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Jihaad Campbell answer because Howie doesn't want to pay the price to get Hendrickson here? Or is Hendrickson not on the table because now the Bengals are 3-4 and back in the hunt? I don't know. Wentz knee and back injury removed his ability to throw to the left. Yes, absolutely. And it made him scared, plain and simple. Does it feel like 5-2 around these parts, or do we still have 0-7 vibes? I got 5-2 vibes, but I guarantee the radio is going to have 0-7 vibes, okay? Eagles' magic number for division, already 9, and can be 7 after next week. That's crazy. That's crazy, Mark. That's crazy. I love it. And just last week, the sky was falling. But you guarantee there's going to be nitwits out there on channels, on the radio, and on YouTube saying Jalen Hurts is still a problem. Jalen Hurts can't do this. Jalen Hurts can't do that. The offense stinks, this and that. There is work to do. But there's so much positive to take away from that game. A little ray of sunshine. I am a ray of sunshine. Ray of sunshine. Don't need Hendrickson. We need Chubb or Phillips. We need somebody, okay? It's just, what's the value? There's this many teams with a much smaller pool of, not elite, but semi-elite edge rushers available. The price tag is getting very expensive for these guys. And I'm not saying that I don't think Campbell, Brandon Graham, and Nolan Smith can fill that role. It's very possible. Offense played well against the Vikings defense. They were number 2 in the pass defense in the NFL. And we put up over 300 passing yards. I don't know what their overall defense was, but their pass defense was number 2 overall. And we put up over 300 passing yards. An offense that can't throw the ball. Toth was good enough in the second half. Because they went under center a whole heck of a lot more in the second half. So I forget who I was watching. Maybe it was a post-game Eagles live show. And they were talking about Brett Toth. When he is under center, he's a much better center. So is Adoree Jackson retired like Shady suggested yet? Adoree Jackson did okay yesterday. And then he got hurt. So let's hope, Silk, that he's good to go. Just for his well-being, because the way he laid motionless on the field for several minutes, it just, you say what you want about the players, but then when you see a really serious injury like that, you just got to be, take the high road and be positive on them, guys. That's what you got to do. Nobody taught Brett how to snap the ball. I guess not. What's up, Keith? How you doing? Dean can up his snaps. We went over it a couple times. We went up to 31 snaps. And Campbell was on the edge for about 30 snaps yesterday. So, yeah, we're in teardown mode. Okay. That's right. Marshawn, Mr. Grouch. How did Falcons do yesterday? I think they lost yesterday, right? Dolphins watch Phil rage. Cape love BG, but he needs to stay retired. I agree, Mark. I do agree. I don't think that's the answer. I think Howie thinks that's the answer. I think that's Howie's answer to not having to pay the big price tag on the edges that are available. after we acquire Mike McDaniels as our AC. I don't want Mike McDaniels anywhere here. Watch us trade for former Eagle who I actually brought that up last week, EC1 on a show. I think it was on one of my Eagles checkdown shows. I wrote his name down in my notebook here somewhere. It's definitely in here. There it is. Dirk Barnett, signed and circled right there. Adoree just has bad technique tackling. Look at what you hit. You don't. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely agree. It was bad technique. We will get revenge on the midgets this week. Yeah, the Giants. I mean, how do you blow that game yesterday? I mean, what was the score? They blew it. Only few close, like 4-3 Panthers. Good for the Panthers winning yesterday. Hendrickson, I don't think has been on the table at all. I think that was all commentator fan pipe dream. Well, it might have been or might not have been, but the fact that they are now 3-4 and right back in it, in a wide open NFL with lots of parity, absolutely think that it's still good. Still off the table now. I was referring to Marshawn. I got you. I figured it out over a couple comments. What's up, Bruce? How you doing? Good morning. Watch how we bring him back. He cheap 98 penalty machine. Yeah, look. Yeah, Philly 500. Look, I don't know. I just was looking for cheap options on the edge, and he was a cheap option I found on an edge. If we bring Graham back, might as well bring back Kelsey. Well, Kelsey definitely could not be brought back. He is definitely way not in football offensive line shape. He's lost a lot of weight, gotten into better physical shape for his post-playing career. So you can't be bringing Kelsey back. I don't think he'd be even remotely capable. Brandon Graham supposedly has stayed training all season long, just in case. I hate Adoree, Jackson, Ringo. Get them out of here. Hate's a strong word. Dislike, okay? Look, they haven't played good this year. I think they did okay, all things considered, yesterday. But, yeah, no. It's obviously an issue, the secondary. I guess it was A.J. Brown and Smitty day, so they didn't use Goddard much at all. That today on WIP or on Dan Sillyman's show, or I got to come up with a nickname for Xander now, and his hot takes, that there's problems in the relationship between Dallas Goedert and Jalen Hurts. There's a problem. They don't like each other. They're not talking because Goddard didn't get the ball. Chargers ruined Phil. Why'd they ruin me? BG tore his tricep twice. How in the world can he possibly be rehabbing? So that's what I've read. That's where reports from Eagles reporters and stuff like that. We need Brandon Graham's leadership, maybe, on the sideline. So make him an assistant coach then. BG can actually play and isn't doing much right now and has only been a few months from playing. Kelsey's 2 seasons. Well, yeah, there's that aspect of it as well. Can we bring back Seth Joyner instead? Yeah. I want to know what Seth Joyner's going to have to say this week. So better not keep him away. Look, well, Kelsey won't be coming back. There's a very strong chance that we're talking about Brandon Graham tomorrow back again. We do need Brandon Graham. Better game plan. There we go. I like that. Look at Marshawn being the happy-go-lucky guy. Dirk Barnett, Mr. Penalty. I see comments way down the screen. Packers and Buccos, only one loss. Yes, that is accurate. Hated the Dirk Barnett pick just because you were comparing him to Reggie White. Well, not you, but everybody was. Jalen, best regular season game. Have we discovered all the things that can happen when you play from under center? Yeah, look. Second half, they went to under center a lot because of the Brett Toth at center situation, and it worked. I thought Jalen Hurts didn't like playing under center. That's what all the touts would tell you. And he can't play from under center. Well, guess what? He played from under center pretty well yesterday. I feel our offense was fixed, but we still need to fix our defense. Yes, it wasn't 100% fixed. There were moments. The run game's still not there. The blocking is still not there. But it was definitely a step in the right direction. And our defense got better, but there's still work to do. Kelsey making more money now, too. Probably. Sports talk related is at its lowest point in Philly that I've ever seen. 1,000%, Mark. 1,000%. Thibodeau would be a surprise trade. I don't think the Giants sign him. I think I heard something that Brian Burns might have gotten hurt last night, too. So maybe, I don't know what's going on with that there. Dirk Barnett in the house. Okay. Where's Wilford Brimley today? We don't have him. We got Dirk Barnett today. You guys are crazy. Never pay $18.50 to watch JoJo VJ ever again. That was well worth the $1 on Friday. Yeah, I was thinking about you on Friday with the preseason game. We'll talk Sixers on Wednesday for sure. I do have a great guest lined up to help us kick off the Sixers season on Wednesday morning on the show. The only reason Goddard is back here right now is because Hurts asked Howie to pay him and bring him back. Absolutely agree. But I'm glad he's back because arguably he's been one of our best playmakers this year. Frustrated with Phil. You're frustrated? Oh, well. Dirk Barnett, no, thank you. Stay in Houston. Look at you going back and forth. Guys, if you haven't, hit the like and the subscribe button. 25 people should be 25 likes. It's free to hit those buttons, people. Offense is not fixed. Patullo is still making rookie OCRs. And great. That's why I feel the moderately improved feeling is the correct answer this week. Glad we got a win. Let's not smell ourselves too much. There's still work to do. Got to get through one more week. And then we get a bye week to get healthy. We won a Super Bowl allowing our opponent to move between the 20s and buckling down the red zone. Very true. Very true. Never wanted Derek. I wanted Humphrey or Jonathan Allen or Denzel Ward. And Denzel Ward everybody wants right now, too. So there you go. Yeah, I don't even remember who I wanted at that point. That was so long ago. Wilford, we need you to remind us about diabetes and diarrhea. Yeah. Huge Flyers game tonight. They're playing the undefeated Kraken, Don Vladder and Ned, I believe. Look at that. 2-2-1 the Flyers. It was a big win this weekend. I gave the shout out to the Flyers on the watch party yesterday. Look at Dirk Barnett complimenting me. Says he's trying to bring me back. Look, I will jump up and down. I probably got a jersey out of what Dirk Barnett will look like in an Eagles jersey. 98 always loves you. Can't look at this. I love it. You guys are nutsos. When we win the Super Bowl again, everyone will love Patullo. He'll be the greatest ever. He's still got work to do. Look, Kevin Patullo was not perfect yesterday. There were definitely moments where we were frustrated yesterday. Look, that first half, we had the big first drive. 75 yards, touchdown, first drive, right? And then the next, 4 or 5 drives, I think we had a total minus 10 yards. So definitely moments in the game yesterday where the offense stalled like it has in the past. Yesterday was not a complete 60 minutes from the offense. Hence why our defense was on the field for 35-plus minutes yesterday. I want to give a shout-out on the defense to Jalen Carter. Battling a shoulder injury, battling a heel injury, played 98% of the snaps on defense yesterday. Back at hitting the quarterback. Did he get 2 quarterback hits yesterday? Probably cracked one of Carson Wentz's ribs yesterday on the first hit. Setting up the sack. Or the interception by Jalen Hunt. Patullo, I could say, was responsible for one of those touchdown plays. The others were 100% on Hurts at the line. Yeah, the one you saw, Jalen Hurts signal A.J. Brown on the one touchdown. Patullo winning Super Bowl, that's a great joke. Well, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, so Patullo will. He's already won one last year. Florida's a very good DC regardless of what you think of KP. Absolutely. How much do we blame Patullo when he goes up against a great DC or a great defensive mind, right? That was the number 2 ranked passing defense in football. Brian Flores will be a head coach next year. Jake Elliott, okay? Yeah, I assume so. He did not have a good game yesterday. Missed his one field goal from, 42 yards? Didn't land one kickoff in the landing zone, which was not good. But, yeah, Jake Elliott just had a bad game yesterday. No, when we win the Super Bowl, we'll be in spite of Patullo, not because of Patullo. The other Super Bowl wins, we can point to the OC as being responsible. Got it. For whatever reason, Elliott rushed the field goal. I think that was what it was. It felt rushed, for sure. I'm not disagreeing that he's still a problem, Kevin Patullo. I'm not. What's up, Mr. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. If Hurts becomes a potential pocket passer in combination with his running ability and leadership, Hurts would dominate the NFL. I think he can be a pocket passer. I don't think there's ever been a doubt that he could be a pocket passer. What I feel the thing is, that's just not what the Eagles like to run. That's not what, they do. They like that shotgun formation. But you put him under center and good things happen. Play action works. Who would have thought play action? Because here's the thing. Saquon Barkley didn't run the ball well yesterday, right? But they kept going to it under center to set up the pass. And it worked. They had a very balanced play call. It was 23 passes, 18 runs. I think it was 18 runs from Saquon. So 23 runs overall. So it's 23-23. Well, 2 of those were kneel downs by Jalen Hurts late in the game. But yeah, Flores not being offered a head coach since the Miami debacle is a travesty. I firmly believe Brian Flores has been blackballed by the NFL at this point, but I think it'll be very complicated issues happening if he doesn't get a job soon. If Brian Flores does not get a job soon, there'll be a lawsuit at some point down the line. He called the NFL out, and he wasn't even a DC right after that whole situation. I think it took 2 years before he was a DC again. Hopefully Titans take him, or we'll get to Super Bowl. He'd be another Jonathan Gannon 2.0 and get Giddy Hunt. Yeah, well, look, I think he's a good coach, Flores. Hurts stayed in the pocket on that one past A.J. Brown. He did, and he took a big hit. He took a big hit on that one. Aside from tush push, I don't think he ran a design run for himself. There was one run early in the game where it was like a read. I don't know if it was a read option or a design run. He ran to the bottom of the screen, and he lost yards on it. I don't think they called it a sack. I think they called it a run for -2 yards, but there was one. But that's it. You could be a pocket passer out of the shotgun. You can. I know that. But I think for some reason the offense is a lot more predictable in shotgun, I guess. At least that's what it seems like it's been. I don't know. I like seeing it under center. I like seeing that version of the offense, and it worked. It worked yesterday. This team needs this bye week for the whole team. Yeah, like I really wish this week was the bye, Adam, not next week. We really need a bye. Really, really need that bye, and hopefully the Giants are down on their luck. Hopefully the Giants are in letdown mode, and we take care of business pretty easily next week. Eagles modified the offense to a dual threat quarterback, which Hurts has been. But since 2 things can be true, Hurts has gotten the skills to be a pocket passer too. Yeah. Bird's offense actually modified the scheme to the personnel yesterday. I really don't think you can overstate what it takes to leave your comfort zone. Yeah, I don't know whose idea it was to go under center more in the second half. Who's the one that realized you can't do the shotgun with Brett Toth back there? Was that on Stoutland getting in Patullo's ear? Was that Toth? Was that Hurts? But they listened. All I know is Kevin Patullo listened to whoever was in his ear yesterday. Because it wasn't great most of the first half. And he figured it out. How about the guy line up sideways for the tush push? Yeah. Look, it looks like a good idea to line up for the tush push that way on defense. It didn't work. And I saw somebody on Twitter say that teams did that. Somebody did that last year, but then no one mimicked it. I don't know. At least people are trying to get creative on ways to stop it. I'm talking about KP, drink some coffee, wake up. Dude, I am not. I'm not awake this morning. Not at all, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I'm not awake. I mean, I had a good night's sleep. At least I think I did. What's up, Big Al? How you doing? Good morning. Greetings and salutations. Man, I doubt Howie got in his ear. But maybe Howie said, yo, listen to your players, or you're going to be out of a job pretty soon. If you're willing to geek out about football, the biggest difference between the shotgun and under center is how many steps the quarterback takes in his drop back. Absolutely. What's the advantage? I mean, other than it gives your play more time to develop. KP, JG 2.0. Kevin Patullo is Jonathan Gannon 2.0. Well, one's offense, one defense, but I guess. We may win the division and lose the Giants twice. Trench health timing. It'll be curious to see what's up with Brian Burns. Brian Burns was a big part of the game that they beat us in 2 weeks ago. If he's out, that's something. I find it hard to imagine the Eagles coming home next week and losing to the Giants and losing twice to them. I think they're going to be really fired up to lay it all out there before the bye week next weekend. Great show last night by Big Al. I missed it. Chris Jones with KC lines up sideways for the tush push. I thought I've seen people do it before, but yesterday was the first time I really it stood out to me. How he didn't speak to anyone during the game. No, he would never speak to anybody during the game. I don't think that has been his MO. But he's definitely gotten in people's ears before the game or before games during the week and stuff like that for sure. We ain't effing losers no more. Jalen Hurts screamed on changes during the week from going under center to on offense to Jalen Hunt, working the catch circuit on defense and the sideline energy. Look, love the positivity. We talked all week, last week, about actions speak louder than words. While the actions weren't perfect yesterday, the actions spoke louder than words. They can't talk and hype up all week long, not to execute. A.J. Brown can't chirp all week and not execute. Devonta Smith getting chirpy. Well, he executed. I still can't believe the game Devonta Smith had yesterday, not just because of the stats, but he took some bad hits yesterday. The first one, he kind of limped off the field and came back. Took a couple other hard hits that stayed in the game. Is there a guy, crash test dummy he's like watching Spike Dudley for you old school ECW fans, taking table bumps. That boy just takes hits and keeps on coming. You think we play Toth just to give Jurgens 2 weeks to really... We need to know more about Jurgens' injury, how serious it is, what it is specifically. But I think if it's a chance of getting worse, you definitely give him the extra week off. 100%. I find it funny that Hurts through losing 2 games made them losers. I find it funny that Hurts through losing 2 games made them losers. What? I'm sorry. I don't understand that. How did you feel about Campbell's game yesterday? Look, I think he's got work to do. I like the fact that he's learning on the fly, but doing whatever's necessary. I like the fact that they used Campbell on the outside to get Nakobe Dean on the field because Nakobe Dean is a special linebacker when healthy. I think it's a work in progress. You've been training the guy to do one thing his rookie year. You switch him to something else. But you know what? Progress. Positive progress. The advantage under center is the snap count, especially in a loud stadium. Okay. And also, yeah, okay. I hate the whole slap the center's butt by the guard when you're ready to snap the ball. It makes things so predictable. Early prediction, 27-13 Eagles. Yeah. They're a 7-point favorite early. More concerned about Dickerson and Cam's long-term health. At the same time, a second division loss would be significant. Yeah. Look, I think Landon Dickerson, all things considered, he didn't get worse yesterday. He played the whole game. So it's a positive. So we'll take that as we can there. I hope they get healthy. Let's have an easy game against the Giants. I'd love to see a blowout against the Giants so we can get them off the field early. That would be good. Smith is not a complainer. You could tell by his post-game interviews he's a lunch pail guy. No, but he started getting a little bit more vocal in the past week. Started not chirping, so to speak, but saying things. And I get it. He's just as frustrated with the offense. I found it funny that Hurts thought that by losing 2 games made them losers. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, but that's the Jalen Hurts mentality right there. Campbell did well. He didn't allow Wentz to become comfortable back there. Yeah, I mean, hold on. Let me check something here real quick. I'm just looking up his stats. He didn't have any quarterback hits per se, but he got pressure on Wentz. The defensive line was able to get pressure on Jalen Hurts multiple times. Again, 8 quarterback hits. The problem is, again, twice they let Carson Wentz escape the pocket and escape for big first down runs. Our third down efficiency on offense is still very bad. Our third down efficiency on defense was not very good yesterday. Almost 50% completion on third down for the Vikings yesterday. Campbell by default is better than Nicholas Morrow now. Singleton back there. Yeah. I think Steven was more asking about his game by playing inside and outside. Obviously, he's an improvement in the middle. But Nakobe Dean, already in a game and change, has proven why he's such a special player. You think Vic should blitz more with different schemes? There were points yesterday that I wanted a few more blitzes. Points yesterday where I wanted them to not only push 4 guys at the line of scrimmage, and they didn't do it. So I think in certain situations, they definitely should blitz more. I love the explanation of the process on the offense and O-line. Have to make adjustments. Smitty came to them what he saw, but they still had to figure out what he was saying and adjusting the O-line coverage. That's fine. Yeah, I get that. There's a lot of good communication going on right now amongst the players and the head coach. Hopefully, it's translating to the offensive coordinator as well. Hopefully. And hopefully next week's another improvement upon that. What's up, James? How you doing? Guys, hit that like button. Subscribe, share, drop your comments. There's 17 people watching. Only 16 likes, even though there's 24 votes on the poll question. So, guys, hit those buttons. Free to do it. Really can't believe Dean has that acceleration back. I don't even think his acceleration is fully back. Or maybe his just timing isn't down. There were a couple plays where I saw Nakobe Dean freeze in headlights. Like the timing wasn't quite there. But considering the injury he had, when he had it, and when it is now, it's beautiful. Special. Uncle Vic has been blitzing more this season. I don't think he blitzed enough yesterday in certain key situations, but he has. It does help the algorithm. No, so we started yesterday at 772. Somehow we jumped really fast to 781. Now we're back to 774. I don't know. I get emails from companies asking to promote the channel. They're fake bots and fake views and whatnot. Sometimes I feel like they boost it. They use some of their bot accounts to subscribe, send you an email, and then they unsubscribe when you don't respond. Dean still needs to get back into the flow of the game. He does. Always forget Devonta won the Heisman. I really hope he's a lifelong Eagle. I love Devonta Smith. I love his heart. I love his determination. What was his one knock? That he was too small. Coming out of college, he would never hold up. The guy's a freaking Iron Man. Nobody got my Spike Dudley reference, but he's like Spike Dudley. Dude could take a hit. He protects his body very well. I think yesterday was the first time he had that one incomplete pass where he landed hard. But that wasn't on Jalen. That was on Devonta. It's the first time I think I've ever seen Devonta not properly high point a ball. Devontae's just that special. That one mistake is the first time I remember him making a mistake ever in all the years here. Vic has left more of his comfort zone this year. I think so. I think he's had to with the personnel and the execution of the players he's had. This defense has a long way to go. Love what they did in the red zone. But they still have a long way to go, this defense. And a lot of players still have a lot to improve upon. AJ will probably not play out his contract with the Eagles, but Smitty will probably get at least another big contract. Yeah, I think in the end, that's down the line. Obviously, Duck, that is a possibility. With how much money's on offense and not on defense, you're going to see those tides change over the years, and they're going to spend less on offense to pay their defenders. So something will have to give, and A.J. Brown might be that thing that has to give. And that's fine. We'll talk about that when that time comes. Jalen Hurts on what led to his performance. The feeling of losing, simple as that. I know there's a clip to confirm where I said we're not losers anymore. That's all I could think about doing or doing. And I love it. And that's Jalen Hurts, man. The leader that is Jalen Hurts is what makes Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. He's a talented quarterback. He's got skills. But what knocks him up a notch, or what kicks him up a notch, is his leadership ability. There ain't no leader in the NFL quite like Jalen Hurts. Go where the trends carry you. Let the content flow through you. It just flows through me. A.J. Brown locked up 2028 alone with Smitty. Yeah, but contracts in football aren't like that. They change. I think sometime next year, you could get away with trading him, or you can get away with re-extending him and stretching out his money a little bit more, maybe. But there's an argument to be made that in a year or two, A.J. Brown is gone. That means next draft we will have to grab another wide receiver. In the next 1 or 2 drafts, you will be drafting a high-end wide receiver again. Absolutely. With the way the team is built, the money's going to have to shift. It's just going to have to. What's up, Blanche? How you doing? What are we talking about? Yeah, but it's just the way contracts are in the NFL. There's no fully guaranteed contracts in the NFL. And with the salary cap the way it is, at some point, either or might have to go. Not saying it's definitely going to happen, but it might have to happen long term. If you watch the replay, the high pointing was okay. His hand timing was off. It just looked like he was already coming down when the hand made contact with the football. Just a hair. It was just like literally a millisecond off. But even then, even with him making that mistake, he still almost made that. And he still probably say he should have caught it. I get it. I know I'm not I know you mean not. And I'm not suggesting we should. But in a year or two, there's going to be some financial decisions. And Howie Roseman knows it's a business. You're going to have to pay Quinyon, Jalen, Nolan, maybe Jalix, maybe Jihaad Campbell after that. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to have 2 top-paid wide receivers down the line. But if anybody can figure it out, Howie Roseman can. I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to, the topic comes up, big picture. Somebody may have to go. And we don't know what the next, collective bargaining agreement is going to look like. And how that'll affect things as well. He can't draft wide receivers. J.J. Reagor and Gibson. What about drafting Devonta Smith? I guess he can, right? Where is he historically? I don't know. He's a top Eagles wide receiver all time already. Howard Carmichael's a Hall of Fame wide receiver from the Eagles. But outside of that, he's right there in the top 5 of Eagles. Overall, I have no idea. No idea. Titans has been doing Titan things. Bad teams do bad things. Absolutely. Bad teams do bad things. Trading AJ and missing on his replacement already got one GM fired. I think the dude is already out of the league. I think he is. Absolutely. AJ not content to not be top career wide receiver. That's what he likes. He wants to be the best. And I don't blame him for that. Devonta was a no-brainer. Yeah. I get it. But he's still drafted. So he's bad at drafting wide receivers, but he drafts a good one, but you can't give him credit for that. Why not? Does he feel Hurts limits him? I don't think anybody feels that. I think those wide receivers really do believe in Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts might not be best friends anymore. They might not be hanging out on Saturday night at the club. Let me tell you something. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are fine. And Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown would much rather Jalen Hurts is their quarterback than anybody else out there right now. A.J. wants to be a Hall of Fame wide receiver, but I don't think he gets the numbers to be that here. I don't know. I mean, he's had 1,300. He's had big seasons here. A.J. Brown's numbers are really, really good here. So I don't know if he's not getting the numbers here. I don't know about that. We did miss out on Justin Jefferson, who's arguably the best wide receiver in the league right now. And we shut him down yesterday, right? Shut him down. But if you draft Justin Jefferson instead of instead of Jalen Reagor, you don't draft Devonta Smith or trade for A.J. Brown. Carson Wentz probably never fouls enough in 2020 to move on to Jalen Hurts. If you draft Justin Jefferson, is Jalen Hurts our quarterback? If you just draft Justin Jefferson, do we win the Super Bowl last year? Just going down a rabbit hole there, right? Yeah, we missed out on Justin Jefferson. I know. Big deal. But everything in Eagles history changes if you don't miss out on him. Everyone with a half a brain love Howie drafting Smith. But you're talking about guy not easy to replace. I know. Justin Jefferson is now 0-3 against the Eagles. 100% accurate statement right there. A.J. Metcalf, body type, wide receivers don't come often, especially versus. Absolutely great. Look, I'm not suggesting they should trade him. I'm just explaining to you the business side that probably has crossed Howie Roseman's mind at some point. I ask because he make more money than any other person, but he seemed upset if he's not contributing. Yeah, I get it. That is A.J. Brown. You're paying me. So why don't you use me? Who was that? Who said that? Recently, you're paying me to be an MVP, but you're not playing me. Somebody said that. I think we more shut down Wentz than Jefferson. He didn't have that many options. And Carson Wentz did miss a couple open receivers yesterday as well. This is the third game that AJ and Devonta have both gone over 100 yards and receiving touchdown in their career. And guess what? When AJ Brown and Devonta Smith both catch a touchdown in the same game, it's happened 13 times. They're 13-0, the Eagles, in those situations. So throw the ball. Addison is the bigger concern in Minnesota. He picked us apart yesterday. Look on the bright side. The offense 3 and outs forced the defense to get mentally and physically stronger. A lot of young players on defense that need experience. I guess that's that, yeah. I mean, we were 3 of 10 on third down yesterday, and the defense was 7 of 15 on third down. Not good. Jamar Chase, I think. Jamar Chase, I'm trying to find your last comment. Yeah, I'm not sure what Jamar Chase may be better than Jefferson, maybe. I think how he was trying to get a good returner and someone he thought could evolve into next Aguilar in Reagor. He got it wrong. Yeah. I remember that whole draft and all the comments about it. He had a lot of drop passes, but, a better quarterback in a better situation. They thought they were going to have something in J.J. Reagor. I get it. I wanted Jefferson that year. I did. It all started with Chip Kelly messing up everything, and it went from there. Exactly. We can keep going back to every era that messed things up. Barkley was terrible, and Thielen was, I don't even know what Thielen, did Thielen even have a catch yesterday? He had 1 catch for 10 yards on 2 targets. I was concerned about Adam Thielen in the slot. I guess I was wrong. On that one. Addison is a short mid-wide receiver who runs really crisp routes. Yeah. We still got an issue at cornerback, too. Especially if Adoree Jackson's going to miss time. You're back to Keely Ringo on the outside. Mac McWilliams wasn't active yesterday, which I was kind of shocked about. There we go. The Cardinals are the first team in NFL history to lose 3 straight games after leaving by 7+ points entering the fourth quarter. What the hell? Like this, I'm not fact checking you on. I'm just going to assume this is right because it makes me laugh. That's brutal, man. I think it's time to Jonathan Gannon get a little fired. Wow. Not fact checking you because I want this to be true, EC1. I love it. That's good. Look at the bright side. Ringo makes the opponent's offense predictable. Whenever Ringo's on the field, the quarterback is throwing in that direction. Absolutely. So he should know how to stop it then, right? Cooper Dejean was very good yesterday. Cooper Dejean played very well yesterday. He got a bunch of snaps in base formation. So maybe they need to start running base formation a little bit more. Barkley has no running holes. Come on. I get that. He also looks a step slower, and he'll admit it. I think he said it after the game yesterday, or it was after practice, that he's not hitting the holes as quickly as he wants to. And then there was a couple plays yesterday where he was like smacking his hands together because he missed holes yesterday. Yeah, I mean, we all wanted Jefferson. We all saw it, but shit happens. Howie working the phones. Howie's got to be busy today. Got to be busy. Ringo was okay in the fourth quarter. It wasn't bad. Did okay. Gannon is such a terrible coach. Like, we didn't know that was going to happen, right? There's Wilford Brimley with his type 2 diabetes update for the day. Just sent to you. What the stats? Oh, it's not that I doubted you. I didn't doubt you. Gannon pulling Baltimore Colt on us after the Super Bowl. Yeah. I do too. I still do. There's still a little bitter energy there towards Gannon. Poor copy of Fangio. He is. Sometimes the student does not beat the master. Hal has been working Howie's been working the phone since free agency after the Super Bowl. Howie season all year long. Yeah, exactly. But Howie's got some serious work to do. Look, it's the top of the hour. You're watching Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network. If you haven't yet, like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll. Right now, we're at 37% say confident we are back. 30% say moving in the right direction. Still so much work to do. 22%, 11%. Where was the offense all year? Vote on the poll, like, subscribe, share. There is still work to do. We won yesterday. We got the stink of the 2-game losing streak out of our mouth. But there's still work to do. The Eagles still have to get better. Howie still has to bring in some more pieces. There's still so much to do this week. So then going into the bye, there's even more work to do. Gannon has to have some fire in his gut. Gannon or McDaniels? Who gets fired first today? Somebody's got to. Daniels or Gannon, McDaniels, and I wouldn't be shocked if Dable. All three of them will be fired in the next week or two. With Liberty, there is no cost for shipping. What? Pew, pew, pew. Yeah. Anyway, so there's still so much work to do, guys, but make sure you're hitting those buttons. I'd greatly appreciate it. Got to find a way to get back to 781 subscribers since they all just dropped off after last night. 20 likes on the video. Not too bad. Gannon needs to have some fire in his gut. I'm missing your quips today are going over my head. I'm sorry. I'm missing most of your jokes. I'm not understanding most of your jokes today, EC1. They're just too good for me today. I just don't know what's wrong. Base formation against a 3 wide receiver set. How does that work? Look, no. Well, there were plenty of times that I saw Zach Bond on the wide receiver yesterday. I saw Campbell tackle Justin Jefferson at one point yesterday. I don't know. You could do it. Yeah, there's your one comment. Fire in his gut. Your next comment is this. Maybe something didn't translate. Sometimes comments disappear. Then even the likes dropped off yesterday. So there were some fake accounts yesterday. I did not get another comment from you. Sometimes comments disappear. The YouTube system periodically scan for bots. Yeah, they do that. And I know that. And that's what happened. I must have gotten a bunch of bots. But yeah, EC1, I did not skip any of your comments. It showed up on my screen here. But sometimes comments do just have a tendency to disappear. I mean, I can look on the side screen here. Read my comment. Yeah. No, fire in your gut, read my comment. They're your last 2 comments. So whatever. Anyway, there's still work to do. The defense still has to figure things out. Your comments were disappearing yesterday. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. See, here it is. Loves slapping his players. Maybe he should take his advice, slap himself. Gotcha. See, I wouldn't have skipped over that. I have no problem with him slapping at his player, honestly. It is what it is. But I'm pretty sure the players didn't like that. And now they're definitely not playing for him down there in Arizona. Listen with the kids yesterday, and you said, shit, yeah. Dude, I definitely cursed a few times yesterday. My apologies. That's what you get with the live watch party. You get a lot of passion. You get in the moment there. Okay? Can we talk about a second? I was just looking at my sheet of paper here. A second about how bad Fox was yesterday on that broadcast. Didn't show the opening kickoff. Didn't show the refs overturning plays. I think we missed at least 3 plays. The Fox broadcast yesterday should be embarrassed with themselves for the product they put on TV. That was so bad watching that game and just knowing so much was missing from the game. You're worried about missing one of your comments that got deleted somehow. I was worried about missing plays because Fox couldn't show every play yesterday. A brutal job, embarrassing job on Fox's behalf yesterday. Pathetic. And you hate to see it. We should demand a little bit better. Patullo also has a long way to go to win back his offense. AJ was having none of it, and Hurts wasn't paying attention to him when he was talking to him when the cameras were on them. Yeah, look, you see the reactions of these guys. They, they're definitely the conversations of AJ and Jalen not on the same page or whatever. AJ and Jalen and Devonta are not on the same page with Kevin Patullo still. And there's still work that needs to be done there. I had retyped that for you. Gannon was caught in the beginning of OTAs as new head coach saying, did take bus, did eat. What you eat, did you have fire in your gut? I remember the fire in your gut conversation. I remember that. That was from, is he in his second year or third year? I don't even remember now. But then Fox with Brady, they didn't miss anything on the Cowboys game. Okay, of course. because they have all their crew doing that. Fox was so awful yesterday. Who that producer director was, but they should get fired for sure. Yes, we're even typing our diabetes comments up in Spanish now. Great. Sorry, Phil, if I don't want to explain to my kids what our defense is balls means. My apologies. 23. Okay, so this is his third year. Dude, I remember the fire in your belly comment and the looks on the players' faces like, huh? Huh? Like, dude, they want him gone. You know, I often wonder, I was, this is not Eagles related directly, but I was never much of a Kyler Murray fan. Never thought he had the superstar potential that people labeled him with, right? But I kind of feel bad for the guy. He's had some pretty bad coaching situations in his career. The coaching situation, the organization situation has such an effect on a player's development, especially a quarterback. And sometimes these quarterbacks get drafted to places, and the places they go to are why their careers fall apart or never begin. That's right. They did beat us in Philly that year. That's right. Cardinals head into the bye week with a 2-5. So they're going to their bye week. It's a perfect week to fire your coach. To be honest with you, when the offense goes to the head coach to celebrate a win and not the OC is bad, I hope he gets it together sooner than later. Would you be shocked if after the win they make changes? I mean, I doubt it. I think they earned another. Kevin Patullo got another week out of it, but maybe. Look, we called it on our own. Now's the time to get rid of him. I still think Patullo's on the hot seat, even despite the win. There were a few times you were talking shit on Fox, not showing any replay, but I was seeing the replay like 4 times. You had be confused. Some of the things I missed because I'm talking, but Fox definitely wasn't showing everything. Murray and Herbert are frauds. I agree. But still, the ball breaking the plane was the example I was. We did not see that. They showed the replays, but the announcers never said what was happening. They never showed the ref saying the play was a touchdown. Me feeling great. That's what he gets. He screwed us. We lost Fangio. He was supposed to take over. Yeah, it's true. Accurate statements, for sure. Murray isn't an elite quarterback, but he's not as bad as he looked this year. Yeah, I was kind of high on him coming into this year, Murray. I thought he'd be better, but, man, I mean, yeah. You know what? That's a great comment. Shohei Ohtani on, was it Friday or Saturday, had one of the greatest postseason performances of all time, striking out 10 batters in 6 innings, no runs, and hitting 3 home runs in the same game. It was insane. Insane performance. And that Seattle-Toronto series going to Game 7 tomorrow night. Some crazy stuff happened in the postseason playoffs. I love the Dodgers, Dave Roberts, their manager, saying, you know what, they hate us. They say we're ruined. Let's ruin baseball or whatever. The fire that Roberts has, firing up his team, not resting on one World Series win. The Dodgers, their coach, their manager, made me hate Phillies and Rob Thompson even more. I remember Gannon got first hired. He was clapping all fired up, and the players then walked right by him. Yeah. Twitter and many call for Dabble firing, probably. When is Murray ever good? He's not, but he's had some bad coaching situations too. Just think we shut down that same Ohtani and Freeman and made them look silly. So that's a reason for us to not make any changes, I guess, right? Embiid looked like he went on the Jordan Davis offseason workout and diet plan. Dude, we got Uriah Young from NBA Now and Then coming on the show on Wednesday. He's been on the show a couple times. Great. Can't wait to have this Sixers season kick off. Jackson Dart came up limping after this play, but did remain in the game for the Giants. Oh, we might play an unhealthy Dart. Just means we have to play Russell Wilson if he's unhealthy. Not worried about that either. Look, Jackson Dart's going to have to learn to take care of himself. Jackson Dart is a missile out there. Brian Dable don't care, though, because Brian Dable trying to save his job, not develop a quarterback. Hence, coaching situations can affect the quarterback's development. Game 7 tonight. It is Monday, isn't it? Yeah, gotcha. In my head, I'm thinking it was Monday, and I said that, yeah. When I saw Kevin Long back, all I could think of was this chat. Look, you listen to Dave Roberts talk after the Dodgers get back to the World Series, and I know exactly what the Phillies are missing. Plain and simple. Seriously. Not a guy, I am who I am, I'm not going to change. Or Dave Roberts saying, let's screw over baseball and win another one. Dave Roberts, comments were very Jason Kelsey-esque. Game what now? Phillies are out of the yeah, exactly. I haven't watched it. I mean, obviously, I saw the highlights of what Shohei Ohtani did, and obviously, I saw the highlights of Dave Roberts' presser, or comments. But I'm not watching baseball. I might watch Game 7 tonight. I mean, Game 7 baseball to make it to the World Series is a pretty awesome experience to watch. Game 7s in baseball are phenomenal. Not surprised the Phillies ran it back. I'm not either. I'm not either. Didn't want them to run it back, but why should we be shocked? Roberts overcame a bad pen by rebooting strategy. Dave Roberts managed his team. I haven't watched any baseball. I've seen the highlights. I keep up on what's going on this year. But there's too much other stuff going on. The Sixers back, the Flyers back, the Eagles. I'm not wasting any of my time on the baseball right now. But Game 7s are pretty awesome in baseball and hockey. Let's be honest. Nothing more exciting than a Game 7 in the playoffs in baseball. But anyway, where are we at with the poll? Still about the same. Confident we are back is leading the way with moderately improved. We're up to 20 likes, guys. Hit that like button, that subscribe and share button, please. Would greatly appreciate it. What else do we got to talk about? What else have we missed from yesterday's Eagles game? Special teams, still questionable issues. Xavier Gibson did okay on a couple returns yesterday. I forgot. I'm looking at the snap count. We talked about the Cam Jurgens injury, but we haven't mentioned Ojulari got hurt and Denver came back in the game yesterday as well. So we finally get a guy to step up on the edge, and he gets hurt very early in the game, never comes back. So he might be even weaker on the edge, by the way, there. What's up, Elephant in the room? Good morning to you. Can't wait for Sunday. Eagles, Giants, and one. Then Union open up the playoffs at home at 5:30. I know this isn't a soccer crowd, but the match will be in FS1. No, it's not that we're not a soccer crowd. So next Sunday at 5:30? Gotcha. I'll do my best to watch it next Sunday. I have, nothing but love for the Union. I want to see the Union win. Absolutely. Clay, the special team, allowed too many long returns. When are we going to bring criticism towards Michael Clay? Everybody loves Michael Clay. The Eagles love him because he's going to be a head coach someday. He's not that good. And I've been saying it for 2 years now. Nolan Smith is eligible to come back this week. But all the reports when he got injured were he wouldn't come back till after the bye. So Darius Cooper, so it's Nolan Smith, Darius Cooper, and one other guy on IR right now is eligible to come off this week. They can activate their practice window this week. Cooper, Nolan Smith, who's the other guy? Who am I missing? That's on IR. I'm missing somebody else on IR right now. But 3 guys can come off of IR this week. They're saying Cooper may be activated. Originally, Nolan Smith, though, they said the bye. But if Ojulari's hurt, if you're just bringing Brandon Graham back in, you might need to rush Nolan Smith back. It's a shame. I'm way watching that one now that it's not on Apple TV. Absolutely, I agree. Union has been knocking on that MLS championship for years now. It's to bring it home. We'll see what kind of energy I have throughout the week. Maybe after the Eagles watch party, maybe I'll do a Union watch party. Should I do a Union watch party? How long does a Union game take? Like with halftime and all. I know it's a 90-minute match, but how long does it take from start to finish approximately? Maybe I'll do a Union watch party next week. Even just somewhat of a Union watch party, mixed with an Eagles post-game show. Maybe I should. Clay should be fired. They need another special team head coach. The last head coach from Chip Kelly tree. Yeah, I've never been a Michael Clay guy. when 2 off seasons ago, after 23, I thought he should have been fired with Desai, with Patricia, with Brian Johnson. They brought him back because there was talk that people are going to make him a head coach someday. I just don't see it with him. Never seen it with him. Is Darius Cooper a missing dimension that could come out of the blue? Look, I've been talking about trading Dotson to get a 4th or 5th round pick because you're losing draft picks, or use him in a trade to get an edge or a cornerback or whatnot, or an offensive lineman. Darius Cooper might be a big piece. Just big enough. If he's a good enough blocker, he can make an impact on this team. He's about the same as a football game. So about 3 hours. Really that long? Stoutland is a chip hire. Stoutland is a chip hire. Absolutely. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. People want me to do a union watch party. I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll embarrass myself not knowing what's going on, but maybe I will. We'll do the show, the watch party, then we'll do a second watch party. We'll have to think about that. I got to see the schedule. I got to see what kind of energy I have this week and how stressed out I am or not this week, whether I could do it or not. We're coming up to the final 10 minutes of the show. Other big takeaways from yesterday. Are there other big takeaways? How did we feel Drew Makuba did yesterday? How do we feel Reed Blankenship did yesterday? Are we concerned at safety at all? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is still out there. The Arizona Cardinals are now 2-15 without Kyler Murray since 2022. Is Kyler Murray hurt? Or are you just trying to support Kyler Murray being a better quarterback than we give him credit for? What else happened around the NFL yesterday? Let me check this scoreboard here. Let's go through all the scores yesterday. Obviously, we have 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. Bucks at Lions, which is going to be a phenomenal game. I don't know who I'm rooting for in that game. Lions are 6.5-point favorites in that game. Wow. I think Mike Evans is coming back. Texans at Seattle. That's an interesting game as well. I guess we're rooting for the Texans in that game. Obviously, the Bengals beat the Steelers on Thursday. The Rams smoked the Jags in London. Bears beat up. Dakota's Bears beat up the Saints. Thinking of you, Dakota. Browns smoked the Dolphins. We knew that. Patriots had a really good game against the Titans. Although Cam Moore did have a solid game. Chiefs shut out the Raiders. That's really bad when you shut out a team in the NFL. Panthers beat the Jets to get their 4th win. Broncos obviously had the big comeback. Yeah, Chargers beat the Colts beat the Chargers. Love to see that. Commanders lose to the Cowboys. Packers beat the Cardinals. There we go. And yeah, 49ers beat the Falcons last night. Another Christian McCaffrey domination. I think he was injured. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett played yesterday. When I was going through it, I forgot about that. Kind of funny to see Smith and Brown just destroy Rodgers. Rodgers having this amazing season this year, Steven. And we just destroyed him. It's like they almost like they knew. They kind of knew. Yeah, Howie is very happy about that. After yesterday, Arizona needs to strip down, rebuild. They missed out what looks like a good quarterback class from 2 seasons ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do with Kyler Murray. Trade him. Just rebuild around him. Really thought the Commies would beat the Cowgirls. Look, we're going to hear how great the Cowboys are. But it's good for the division now. We got a 2-game lead in the division now with a chance to improve upon it. Having that 2-game lead in the division at this point in the season is big. It really is. I know we still got to play the Commies twice later this year. But, man, by the time we get to the Commies, the division might be over. Commies defense is ass, and it's only going to get worse, K1. And we talked about this all offseason, right, leading up to this season, that the Commanders weren't going to falter because Jaden Daniels regressed. They're going to falter because that GM built an old, aging football team. You can't rebuild around Murray because you have already tried that and it's not working. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's some talent there. I think he's overhyped, but I guess there's some. I don't know what you do with him. The offense, when it's healthy, can really put some points up in Dallas, not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, there's never any doubt that give Dak 2 good wide receivers and a tight end, and he can sling the ball. It's all about keeping him upright, protecting him. You get pressure on Dak, he makes mistakes. You sack him, you rattle him. that's what happens. But if you could protect Dak, he could sling the ball around, never a doubt. Commies had a solid defense last season. They retained most of it. And they got older. The Commanders are just older. Plain and simple. That's all it comes down to. But anyway, what's on tap this week? More Eagles talk tomorrow, for sure, 100%. But on Wednesday, we will get into Sixers season kickoff mode. Uriah Young, you guys loved him the last time he was on the show. From NBA Now and Then, he will be back to help us kick off the season on Wednesday. Other than Steichen, which Birds assistant would you like back? That's interesting. Not Gannon, not Desai. Maybe Brian Johnson. I would take Brian Johnson over Kevin Patullo right now. I don't know. I don't know if there's an assistant I'd really want back. Dak still can throw the ball. When you allow him to manage the game, he will kill you. Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, it's a great show today. Great week. Great start to the week, right? Great start to the week. Eagles coming out of the bye. Packers, Lions, Cowboys. Eagles defense will need to be ready coming out of the bye. Absolutely. Jalen Carter's going to get healthier. Quinyon's got to get healthier. That's a tough stretch right there. You could go. That's why the Giants game is so important, Steven. Get to 6-2. If you get to 6-2, you could go 1-2 there and be okay. If you go 1-2 in that stretch, but you lose the Giants game, now we got a problem. There's a difference between being 7-3 and 6-4 big time. Yeah, we're going to talk Sixers on Wednesday. It's Sixers season kickoff. Sixers are back, baby. I watched some of that preseason game. Nooms was at the preseason game. Joel Embiid played 19 minutes and had almost a triple-double. He looked spry, healthy. VJ Edgecombe looked dominating in preseason. I'm so hyped for VJ Edgecombe, just so you guys know. I'm going to become a VJ Edgecombe fanatic. I have a very strong feeling about that. I think this city is going to love VJ Edgecombe more than you can imagine. He's going to be a special thing. So, yes, we will be talking Sixers later this week. Tomorrow will be more Eagles talk. But then we'll dive into the Sixers on Wednesday and then go from there. Are we back in? Yeah, 100%. Once I think I'm out, they pull me back in, Adam. I mean, let's think about it. We talk about Nakobe Dean not being on the field and coming out and playing so well. That was the first time Embiid took the court since February. In-game action. It's preseason, but still in-game action. So give it that. Joe was sucking air with 7:46 in the third, but that's to be expected. First time since February he stepped on the court. Pull Phil back in. Yeah, I'm back in. VJ reminds me of Jimmy Butler for some reason. Me and my buddy Brian, who comments on the show sometimes, said Jimmy Butler, but a more athletic version of Jimmy Butler. Just make Jimmy Butler a better athlete, and that's what you got, potentially, in VJ Edgecombe. He's going to be able to shoot. He's going to be able to score. He's going to play defense. He's going to be a big ball handler. VJ Edgecombe might be the key to the next era of Sixers basketball, not Jarrett McCain. I like that comparison. Butler with Iggy. That's a perfect example. He has got that Jimmy Butler in him. But he's got that Iggy in him as well. Andre Iguodala is a very underrated player in Philadelphia 76ers history, in NBA history. Anyway, it's Monday, which means I got to get to work to make the school pizzas. So as always, I got to leave a little early on Mondays. But there's booze in the blender. Not today. If anyone is in the Kennet area, yeah, that's right. Appreciate that. Got to head in and make the pizza today. Got to get in and make the dough. So anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up tomorrow. More Eagles talk. I'm sure a lot will come out. We'll hear from Nick Sirianni later today. Final poll results. 30 votes on the poll. Confident we are back. 1 at 40%. Moderately improved, 27%. Still so much work to be done. Got 20%. And where was this offense all year? Got 13%. That's your final poll results of the day. So it's going to be building off of VJ and Maxey. That's the future of this team. Jarrett McCain might become a bench guy if everything was perfect, in my opinion. We'll talk about that on Wednesday for sure, guys. Hey, we're going to wrap it up. Everybody have a great Monday. It's cool out there. Fall is here. See you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. Go Birds. Bubbles up.